It was a still night, around 11:05 p.m. on July 23, 2024. The silence surrounding Kriti's PG accommodation was suddenly interrupted by a loud, unsettling knock on the door. Kriti, exhausted from a long day at the office, had no idea that this knock would lead her down a terrifying path. In a city like Bengaluru, known for its bustling streets and modern safety norms, she believed she was safe, but that night would prove otherwise. Kriti, a woman of dreams and ambitions, was on the verge of facing something far more sinister than she could have ever imagined. Born in 2000, Kriti Kumari hailed from a very simple and middle-class family in Bihar. From a very young age, she was determined to make something of herself. So after finishing her undergraduate degree and pursuing an MBA, she got selected for a position of Business Development Associate in Bangalore. This meant living far away from her family in an unfamiliar city. But Kriti made it sure that she will face these challenges head on. Although she had her own flat, loneliness had crept in. She didn't have any close friends in the city, and adjusting to the environment that was so different from her hometown was getting tough. But Kriti knew that she had to sacrifice to achieve her goals. Over time, she found solace in her job, and soon enough, her colleagues started to bond with her. One who became her very best friend. Now, this friendship will play a vital role in the chain of events that will later change everything. Kriti's best friend, who remains unnamed till date, was also new to Bengaluru. Just like Kriti, she was also from out of state, and soon she also found comfort in the growing friendship. However, what Kriti didn't know is her friend was entangled in a toxic relationship with her longtime boyfriend Abhishek Ghosh, a 25-year-old man who had recently lost his job. His unemployment had caused frequent fights and, more disturbingly, physical abuse. Kriti's friend told her about this abuse. Abhishek was angry, manipulative, and often lashed out in frustration. Kriti, on hearing this, advised her friend to leave Abhishek and shift to her home, believing that this was the right thing to do, since she wanted her friend to move out of this toxic relationship. Taking Kriti's advice, her friend finally believed that it was for her very own good to leave Abhishek. For a short time, all seemed too well. Kriti didn't have to feel lonely anymore, and her friend was out of a toxic relationship. But this was far from over. Abhishek didn't agree with this breakup, and he held Kriti totally responsible for it. Abhishek became obsessed, unable to bear the idea of his girlfriend leaving him, especially with the help of Kriti. Soon, he started stalking both of them. His anger toward Kriti grew day by day. Soon enough, when he realized that his phone calls and text messages were not giving him the attention that he wanted from his ex-girlfriend, he started to approach Kriti's apartment, where he created chaos and yelled threats, making sure he held her responsible. Abhishek's first outburst was disturbing enough that the residents managed to get him to leave, but Kriti knew that this wasn't the end. She feared that if he would return in the future, that it might be far more worse. To protect themselves, both of them decided that it was best for them to shift to a new PG, so that they can escape his wrath. Despite the looming danger, Kriti gave the first priority and considered her friend's safety. Her selflessness and courage were definitely very admirable, but what she didn't know is how far Abhishek is willing to go for revenge. On that fateful night of July 23, as the clock struck 11:05 p.m., a knock was heard outside Kriti's door. This signaled Abhishek's return. Abhishek was not only angry, but he was consumed by revenge. What followed next was a brutal encounter which nobody would have ever expected. A simple act of helping out a friend had put Kriti's life in immense danger. Details of what happened next are very grim, and the consequences of that night had left everyone shocked in the society. Abhishek's rage had resulted in an attack that would leave an irreversible mark on everyone that was involved. This case, although tragic, raises many important questions. How far should one go to help a friend? And should Kriti have taken things in a different directions? It also delves into serious subjects such as personal safety, lengths of friendship, and the consequences of a toxic relationship. Stay tuned as we explore about more real life cases that teach us about life, relationship, and survival. Until next time.